Hello peoples, this is Good Nature Kitty doing another video with you guys. And today I actually am not wearing any makeup because I wanted to kind of give you a little preview of what I have to deal with every now and again with my face. This is actually pretty not bad compared to yesterday and the day before. What happened is I've kind of had a stressful week this week, and my husband, he's still been sick. Um, he, he's coughing Saturday, and even before Saturday, he's told that he has a upper respiratory infection. So Monday, his neck was really bothering him, so he went into the doctor's office and found out he had strep again. And well, when I learned about it, I was like, oh great, I'll probably get it too, because this is actually his third time getting it, and each time he gets it, I end up getting it. Doesn't seem that I ended up getting it, but I did get sick. I got a cold that really bothered me. Starting on Monday, like I had just a tickle in the back of my throat around here. And it was so bad that I couldn't sleep the whole night. And I was getting so stressed about it. And my husband and I even argued a little bit that day or that night, because I couldn't sleep, and I gave up on sleeping there for a while. I just sat there and stared at nothing, feeling completely aggravated. So, and I just having a hard week. And on Wednesday, it is my day off and stuff. I started noticing my face was breaking out a little more than usual. I was getting so frustrated. Then Thursday comes around and back to work, and the whole time that I was working, like, I kept itching my face. It was just burning and itching so bad. And I was just getting so irritated by it. And I go home, I look in the mirror, and I realize that I was completely broken out. I had like these huge clusters, and like my skin was really thick, and it looked so bad. And I just kind of cried, because I was like, oh my gosh, I look like a monster. And I couldn't stop from itching. I tried putting stuff on my face to help it. Like, I got this lotion that's supposed to originally be for eczema, but I use it every now and again. It's got vitamins and stuff in it. Still itches. But anyway, I had a hard time trying to keep from itching my face that night. And then I go to work Friday and kept trying to deal with it, trying hard not to itch. If I itched, I just try to go for the spots, where there wasn't as much, just so I wouldn't get it to spread, because I was thinking, gosh, this is the worst I had ever seen it. And I was thinking, what if it's something more to it than I thought? Maybe it's a food allergy, or maybe it's just a rash I've had for the past 11 years. I don't know. And so I was really bothered, and when lunchtime came around, I went to the bathroom and looked in the mirror and noticed that the clusters were really bad. Like, I had like huge clusters, and like they had heads on them, so like he'd have like one tiny little spot that was just filled with heads, and like white heads and stuff, and it was like really thick, and it was burning and itching so bad. And I went over to my husband, because we work at the same place, and I said, it's getting worse. And he says, oh, I don't know what to do about it. And the lady across from us, she's like, what's going on? And I said, my skin, it's just getting so much worse. And she says, oh my gosh, and your eyes are red too. It must have spread to your eyes. You better go to the hospital. And I'm like, no. I started panicking too, because yes, I've dealt with this for 11 years and everything, but it's like, oh my gosh, if it gets in my eyes, like, what's gonna happen? And So I went, my supervisor from my area wasn't there. I would have liked to talk to her more, but I talked to who was available, which is this lady who's kind of straight to the point, no dilly-dallying sort of person. She can really stress you out when you need time off, because she'll just like really say, oh, where's your occurrences? What's your occurrences at? Oh, you're gonna have to make it up, or we're gonna put more occurrences and all this stuff. Just, and so I had to walk to the doctors with this stuff on my face itching, and just the way she had dealt with me in the whole thing, it made me feel like my time that I put in to work is more important than my health. And I started crying the whole way over, and I had a hard time breathing a few times, and I'd get to feeling a little bit better, and then I'd think about it again, I'd start crying. Just, and it took me a while to get to the doctor's office, and I was afraid they wouldn't see me, because I know that the one that I went to, the one that was closest that I could go to, um, they won't see you for certain things. Like when I was having my womanly problems, they're like, nope, you gotta go to the hospital. But this time they were willing to see me, and the lady nurse, well, she weighed me. And the cool thing is I'm losing weight, so that's good. And like the previous appointment that I had noticed that I had dropped 3 pounds, and I'd forgotten to mention that to you. This time I dropped about a pound, so I'm still trucking away and losing weight, but that's not why I'm doing this, of course. I'm trying to get healthy for my mental health, and now for this as well, and for my womanly problems. I want to be in better health. But anyway, she asked me how long it's been going on, and just what medications I've been taking and stuff. And then the doctor comes in, he looks at me, he says, is it just on your face? And I'm like, yeah. And I tell him about how, like, it started when I was 26. I had blemishes that just started here, and it started coming out kind of like an explosion, and then it started spreading. And he's like, well, is it always that bad? And I said, not really. It's not as much clusters and stuff. And he says, okay, so if this is 100% where you're at now, what percentage would you say is close to what you normally have? And I said 65%. And he says, so it's still pretty bad usually, like you still have a lot of clusters. And sorry, I shouldn't itch. No itching. And then he says, I'm pretty sure you have rosacea, which I always thought I might have rosacea ever since I started breaking out with it. I first thought adult acne, and then I started looking on WebMD, which I know you shouldn't do that, because then you start self-diagnosing and stuff, which is what I did, because I look at it and I'm like, well, as a teenager, sure, I never had pimples and everything, but I'd get them on occasions, and it never quite seemed much like this. But I guess rosacea is acne, so technically I do have acne. But anyway, it felt different from anything I had as a teenager. And so I started looking at pictures, and then I came across rosacea. And for those who are saying, well, I know people with rosacea and it doesn't look like that, let me explain. What I learned when looking at the pictures is there's 4 forms of rosacea. The most mild form is you just have the rosy cheeks, along here. It used to annoy me as a teenager, because I would get those kind of rosy cheeks, and people say, oh, you have such beautiful rosy cheeks, and I wanted to have the whole makeup thing going on like most of the teenagers did and everything, and my cheeks made it really hard to do blush, and really hard to even out my skin tones and stuff. So like it would show even if I put concealer completely over it and put foundation down and powder, it would still show through, and I couldn't really do the whole blush thing. And I eventually learned to just go with it. But yeah, like, best way to explain people with the stage 1 is like, at its worst, it can look like someone who just came in from a really cold day, like how their cheeks are all flushed and red and stuff. Anyway, there's stage 2 where you start getting blemishes kind of like this, and then stage 3 you get it closer to the eyes, and it's been getting pretty close to my eyes. Like, I have it right here and it bothers me. I have one right here too that's driving me nuts. Stage 4, if you ever watched Ren and Stimpy, sometimes they'd show these little old men, or be like really short, kind of like Stimpy sized, and they'd be kind of old men with gray hair, and they'd have these red noses that looked like red pickles. That's kind of what stage 4 can look like. It's like really red pickly looking nose. Another example is Uncle Grandpa. I only know that show because my nephew would watch it. It's a weird show. I have no idea what was going on. Although cartoons in the 90s weren't always sane, at least I had an idea of where they were going with most of it. Even Ren and Stimpy, which doesn't always make sense, made a little more sense to me than today's cartoons. Not trying to put down cartoons these days, I'm just saying that I think the youth of today have a different sense of humor than I can understand. And I see it a lot in a lot of things. But anyway, coming back to the Rosacea thing. Originally, he had set me up for a prescription that would have cost $300. And while I do have insurance, it only covers one kind of pill. And I'll give you a hint to what it is. The insurance is called preventative insurance. Can you think of it? What is a preventative medicine? Birth control. Oh gosh, my husband was the first to learn of that because, like, when he was, I don't remember what he had at that time, but he had something, and he went to the doctor's office and he prescribed him something, and he went to pick up his medication at Walmart, and they told him the price was $100, and he's like asking him, well, why doesn't my insurance cover it? What does my insurance cover? And they're like, the only thing it covers is birth control. And he's like, well, that's a little weird. And my doctor thought it was weird when I told him too, because he said, you know, there was a day when they wouldn't even cover birth control for any insurance. So for them to have an insurance that just simply covers birth control, weird. Wonder if you guys can hear me. Anyway, so they had to call the doctor and do a cheaper medicine. It's still kind of pricey, but it's within my price range. And I actually didn't want to work on Saturday to lower my incurrences, so I actually went back to work afterwards. I still have to work today, but only 2 hours. I was able to put in enough time after getting the medication to where I can bring it down to 2 hours. Otherwise, it would have been 4.5. Ugh, I hate working on Saturdays. Anyway, apart from that, my week has, apart from all those things like the sicknesses and this rosacea, which it's not only painful, but it's embarrassing to have, of course. There's a couple times where someone would look at me while I was in the store and I'd be like this, because I feel so self-conscious about it. And yet here I am showing you straight out what it is. But this is actually coming along a lot better. You know, I took some medication last night and this morning I was told to do some antihistamine medication too alongside it, so I took some Benadryl as well. And it seems to be helping a little bit to tone it down. Don't you love how it had a really big X before, but don't you love how like it does an X right across my face? Oh, it's ridiculous. Anyway, it doesn't look that as much like an X now, though. Anyway, moving on from that. Other than that, with the sickness and everything, it's just I've kind of been tempted by some food this week. I wasn't as much last week because I was so psyched and I was so into this and ready to get started. But there's been some times when I like walk by a fast food restaurant and I get a whiff of the smell and it's like, it smells so good. But I still been staying away. Oh, and when I had to go pick up my pharmacy prescription, there's also like the beautiful colors of the bakery. I was so tempted to get a cake. But I'm still behaving. I'm still eating pretty darn healthy. Um, I have been making lunches. My husband helped me pick this out. It's really cool because he got the knife and fork, although I don't know why I'm going to need the knife as much. I guess sometimes people who use it might put sticks and stuff in it, but I don't expect myself to. So far it's just been salads and sandwiches we've used it for. And we don't always use it. If I don't have time, I go to Golden Corral and they have salads that I can do, and I just do those salads. They have pine nuts, and I love pine nuts. I'm learning that's a good way to hide the salady taste of salads. But anyway, it's got two compartments. I can put veggies and fruit here and just the main thing here. And with my husband, though, he likes to have two sandwiches and it doesn't fit both of them in, but I just bag up the second sandwich. And then he suggested we get these two lunch bags. They're insulated, which is nice. I like mine because you notice it's got that kind of retro thing to it, like the old orange flowers that you'd see in a lot of 60s kitchens or 70s kitchens. So cute. His is like a kind of bluish green one. But they seem to work really well. Not a lot of complaints. I do wish I could have gotten a Tupperware with maybe 3 compartments or something, so I could have had fruits, vegetables, and main course maybe or something. But I like this one. It's nice for if I have salad, I have a fork to use for it. That was one of the things, if you recall, that I was saying that I was going to do. I've also gotten a little more into cooking. I made tacos last week on Saturday, and I cut up some red peppers, lettuce, tomato, and avocados for me to make it more salady. Lucas pretty much just stuck to lettuce and meat. And we do black beans because I feel like it's got more the good stuff, more protein maybe, or it had something more of it. I'll have to look at the stats again. Oh gosh, it's itching. Don't itch. Oh, my kitty's here. My kitty's here. Anyway, cats don't like it when you kiss them, but it's still fun. I love it. Don't do if you have allergies, of course, but especially if it's allergies to kitties, which is a sad thing. Anyway, I don't know what she wants to do. So, where was I? Oh, and I made potato soup homemade on Monday, which potato soup can take a lot of time. So I was thinking, why am I doing this right after work? But it worked out good, and it was not bad. But I feel like I put too much onion in it. I hate onion, but I feel like you have to use it for potato soup. So I put in a little bit and it was still overpowering to me, and I kept picking out pieces of the onion because it's like, ugh. I still got onion in there, and that's good because when you're sick, onion's really good for healing you. I mean, I love the properties of onion, I just don't like the taste. And then I also ended up making turkey burgers on Wednesday, which turned out to be quite a hit. My husband didn't care for the sweet potato fries that I did though. I did it baked. Hey, why do you have to get on there when I'm doing my video? I'm gonna trust that she's not gonna. Anyway, I'm gonna hope that she gets down from. Anyway, he was the one who picked him out. He saw him in the produce aisle, and they're crinkle cut sweet potatoes, and I just kind of put them in the oven. I thought they were delicious, but he wasn't much for them. So we'll just have to, for now, just do like potatoes, cut it up naturally maybe, and cook it that way for his sake. But I loved them. They were so good. And, you know, it's about all the cooking I did. I fixed a few lunches and, um, anyway, I've been reading up on, omega-3, thinking that I want to get some more put into my diet. I got a bag of walnuts because I learned that they're really high in omega-3. I also learned that they're high in antioxidants, and I was like, well, I'm sick, so I need them. So, and I picked out a fish oil. I was tempted to get krill, the Schiff's krill, because I saw recommendations for that. But then I was like, they seem like they have less milligrams than fish oil. But I think I made a mistake because reading into it, there's a lot of things that say krill oil provides more omega. So I'm confused because the one I got says 500 megagrams, and the ones that they had was like 300, so it just seems like it'd be less. And then there was ones that was 1,000, 1,400. I wanted to make sure the one I got wasn't too fish oil tasting. And it says it's the smallest fish oil. It's like this. Kind of looks like bath pearls to me, but I won't be bathing in them. So yeah, I'm gonna start out with these. Um, they they don't seem to have a fishy taste, so that's good. I took my first one today. I got it last night. No, I got it the night before last, actually. Or did I get it last night? I can't remember. um. Anyway, I learned, berries are good for it, spinach, so I'm going to be incorporating some of those things into my diet this week. Really concentrating on the omega-3s just to get used to, like, recognizing, because my hope is by looking at each nutrient that would be good for me, I can zero in and say, okay, these would be good, or these. And times maybe when my depression is really high, I can concentrate on what nutrients, what foods are gonna make me feel better and why. And so omega-3 has been reported so many times for being really good for mental illness in particular. It's also good for the heart, as it turns out. But they found studies that show that people who lived in kind of the more nautical places where they'd eat more fish and stuff, they tend to be more positive and upbeat. And one guy even talked about about this tribe of Native Americans. He didn't say what tribe, but he said they'd like really get into eating all the things on the fish, and they'd like be giggling and laughing and having a good time as they're eating the fish, and just, stuff like that. Omega-3 is just really, really good for, like, refreshing the brain, and I don't know the exact reasons. So I'm gonna probably get some salmon today, seeing as how my husband's working all day and he's not a big salmon eater. I'll just make up some salmon for myself, and I'm gonna be eating more pecans and walnuts. They're supposed to be high in it. Hazelnuts too, and that's my favorite nut. I love hazelnuts. Berries are good. Spinach is good. Beans are really good for it too. I had read one place at dark chocolate, so what I even did is I got a bar of chocolate, of dark chocolate, like 70% cacao, or however you say it, and I've just been eating a small brick per day because you still want chocolate to be in moderation. And so yeah, this week I'm just gonna concentrate on some of the foods that are higher in omega-3s. Oh, winter squash too, which means it's like a really good season to be thinking about this because it's fall, so there'll be a lot of different squashes out there, and it's a good meal to make you feel like warm and cozy and happy, I think, in my opinion. So, plus I learned that chia and flax is good with omega-3. I've been eating that in my breakfast every day, so that's good. Plus I put some in a smoothie when I did the burgers because I figured, I usually like to have a shake when I have burgers, and I thought, well, this time I'll just make a smoothie. So I'm just gonna I'll concentrate on that. I'm gonna keep working on cleaning. What I did do for cleaning this week is I actually, after washing up all the plates, I narrowed down the amount of plates that I'll have in my cupboard. I packed the rest away and put it in my storage area. So if I ever have company, I could still bring out more. But what I got is 3 bowls, 2 tiny plates, 2 medium, and 2 large plates. And I need to really narrow down my cups, so because I still have a lot of cups. A ton. But I figured this last week, I figured it'd be good to kind of cut down my workload a little bit. And I've been pulling things slowly out of this box that I never did unpack, and I found my blender and I got that set up and everything. I have to move it after each use because it's in front of the microwave, so that kind of sucks. But at least I get to use it. Because at first I wasn't going to do the whole smoothie thing because I had heard it's better to have your fruits and vegetables whole. If you put in a smoothie, you lose fiber. But then I learned that there's some good properties to smoothies. Like you get certain types of fibers, what they say. So it's kind of a mixed message in my opinion. But what I think is good about smoothies is you get a lot of fruit condensed into one drink. And I always, whenever I drink a lot of them, I'd always feel real energetic and happy afterwards. So I got a big thing of like frozen fruits. It's like cherries and strawberries and stuff like that. I made sure it wasn't like particularly made for smoothie making because I wanted it to just be natural, all natural, like frozen fruits and stuff. And so yeah, I'll be working on all that stuff, and next week I'll probably zero in on the B vitamins, the different forms of it, and ways to get that as well. Um, and I'll still continue working on not eating cheese too. I did get tofu cheese, and it's not bad. The fun thing is when you try to warm it up, I tried putting some on the burgers that I got, and instead of like melting down on the burger, they kind of melted up. It looked so fun. So I actually turned it over so it melted more perfectly on the burger. It looks so goofy. They don't melt like cheese, but it's not bad tasting, and I made sure it didn't have a whole lot of like different ingredients in it. But I'll tell you what, like the whole tofu cheese or stuff like that can be pretty pricey, so yeah. But anyway, I thank you guys for watching. And next week I'll talk about my progress going further, any cleanup that I may have done, and just how it's going with omega-3 and incorporating that into my diet. Maybe just how I'm feeling about dieting in particular. And I'm hoping by next week this stuff will be cleared up a little more, because I got medicine to clear it up. And anyway, I do thank you guys for watching, and I will see you next week. Bye.